I open this video? Do I say welcome to Godzilla again? No, I'm kidding. There's actually a bunch of irony to it. Over in Japan, when this car was reduced, they called it the returning of Godzilla. So here in front of us, we have got a Nissan Skyline GTR34, and believe it or not, their motors is capable of so much darn power. I'm just pretty upset that it feels to me like Forza themselves are actually taking Nissan for a play ride or something, because unfortunately in this game this car is not compatible of too much power, even though they are super powerful. They share a lot of same characteristics against the Toyota Supra, such as the Toyota Supra, the inline 6, 3-liter, and it also come out in twin turbos. This car has got a little bit of a less displacement. It comes out in a 2.6-liter inline 6 twin turbo. So the motor in here is called a RB26DETT. 26 for the displacement, TT for the twin turbo. You guessed it right. Anyway, so let's quickly go over to everything we have installed, or I almost said upgraded, but we did upgrade it though, in the 34. So we're gonna go custom upgrade, and just to show you guys that we actually sticked with the engine. Such as the Supra, such as the Honda, we can't take those engines out. And obviously with the Civic, we can't make it rear-wheel drive. It's gotta be front-wheel drive. Same with this car, the engine has to stay in. So that is just me, guys. That's just me. I'll never live with myself if I have to take this motor out. For the drivetrain, originally these cars came out as all-wheel drive, so we can actually move it to rear-wheel drive. It's gonna save a little bit on weight. Let's see by how much. Oh my gosh. That is a lot, but I'm not gonna lie to you guys, because this car is all-wheel drive, its normal tune settings is almost optimal. I did very little tweaks just to make sure we've got proper grip, even though this car had amazing grip all by itself. So let's quickly go all the way back to engine upgrades. We've got the cone filter installed at max, the injectors, literally everything is installed to max. Till max. Did I just say match? Wait, did I just, sorry. I've got to focus what I'm doing. Installed to max. The displacement is max. Pistons max. Turbos all the way to max. Flywheel max. And I always forget about the oil engine cooling. Let's see. This gives us 10 kilowatt, but how much weight does it give us? We had 1225. 1232, and that's about 7 kgs. Now let's take it just for reliability purposes. And then our intercooler. Okay, so going over to the platform and handling, we've got our brakes at max. Our suspension, as again, is always going to be rally springs and dampers. It feels to me like it adds to better grip. There's more movement and so forth in the suspension to compensate it. Where taking quarters and stuff, race feels much better to me. That's a hint if you guys haven't realized it yet. For the sway bars, max installed. We don't have what do you call it, a roll cage, because that just literally adds to so darn much weight. That is how much? 232, 30. That is almost like 70 kilograms. That's heavy. Going over to the weight reduction, we have got the highest race kit installed. Going over to driveline, we have got the race clutch. We've got the race transmission. I like to use the race transmissions. It just feels to me like most of these cars, once you add so much power, it feels more to me like these cars, they like to see a bit more longer gear. So going over 10-speed gearbox, you're just gonna sit there and shift. That is obviously if you calibrate the gears according to the car's max speed. You're just gonna be shifting the entire time. It's gonna destroy the times in this car. And then obviously we got the sports transmission and the stock transmission. Nevertheless, we're going over to driveline, which has the race one and the race diff. Going to our tires and rims, we have got our drag tire compound, also known as slicks, installed. We have got the widest front tires installed. Do note that you can actually downgrade this a bit. We are pushing, I think, 80% of the powers to the rear wheels. So we might as well just put smaller wheels in the front, because now it's actually just adding to weight. Let's see how much weight. Well, this is 4 kilograms. I mean, that's not too bad, right? But still, if you want to be that little bit faster than me with my own tune, you can do that. Going over to the rear tires, we got the max installed. For the max, you can choose any one. Just make sure it's the lightest one. I think mine is minus 12. Yeah, minus 12. Well, yeah, minus 12 kgs. And then going over to the wheel size, like pushing it out. Oh, no, sorry. This is the rims. We don't install rims because as you guys can see, the bigger you go, the more weight it adds. So it looks better, but it's actually taking some extra rotating weight. So for the wheels pushing out, you can do it as you wish. I mean, I literally just do it to see how far the wheel sticks in. I like it if the wheel is, yeah, something like that is fine. Yeah, so yeah, I don't like the wheel to stick out. I don't like it to be too far in. That's why you'll see of the rear wheels I've got the max installed, just to get it that nice flush. It's just me being picky and all of these things. For the aerodynamics kit, I literally just installed this top secret, what do you call it, front bumper, this adjustable rear wing, just because it looks very similar to the normal wing, just much bigger. Looks a bit more aggressive to me. So this is just me following my liking, just to make it look a little bit better. You can do there what you want. So let's quickly run over the tune. The tune you'll see now is very similar to the normal tune. I did change a little bit of things, but the gearing and stuff is not that much off. But let's quickly start. So for the tires, as you guys can see, the tire pressure is at its minimum. What you can do to actually get better speeds, because we are only using 20% of the front wheels. I don't know why my mouse cursor isn't showing. So weird. As you guys can see here, we are taking our balance 80% to the rear, so we can literally increase the front tire pressure a little bit if we really want to, but I just kept it like that for traction. Obviously this is a base tune, you guys can improve on this tune. Going over to our gearing, here it is. To be honest, this car really likes short gear. Sorry, I still gotta fix this over here. There we go, that should be fine. This is the gear ratio you want. This ratio over here is set up for the quarter mile pulls and also for the drag racing. So I just actually made my 4th gear longer now after testing. I just forgot to adjust my 5th gear because I only wanted to see if it was going to work or not, and it works. So what I actually did to this gear ratio is, I think the first 3 gears I actually made pretty short. The first 2 gears is shorter, and also I moved my final differential more towards speed. But nevertheless, so yeah, I think the first 2 I made a lot shorter, and then the 3rd gear I made a little bit shorter, and from the 4th gear I stretched it out. This car is just like a bunch of other cars. It loses a lot of time when you shift. So to do the quarter mile and you have to shift to 5th gear, you're losing that extra little bit of time to pass there where you could have just accelerated. So you get actually better speeds just making your 4th gear longer than actually trying to shift to 5, if it makes any sense. Going over to alignment, here is our minus 1.1 on our front. I'll show you guys how this works now. Please remember me. So for the rear, we got plus 0.4. The reason being is when you accelerate, your nose of the car will always lift up. So a minus camber will become a positive, so it will even out. And then the weight is going to the back, which means there's weight pressing down on your back differential and your back suspension. So a positive camber is going to go to a negative camber, so this is going to balance it out. Then it's 0, 0, and 7. Anti-roll bars at stiff. For the springs, you guys want to make sure you are all-wheel drive, which you are. So you want to make sure that the weight doesn't just flop all the way to the back. So that's why we got the front to be pretty soft. And then obviously the softness is going to help us not to bounce too much around on the road and stuff. And then the rear is it's like a little bit much stiffer. It's just above 0.5%, maybe 60% stiff. The reason for this is if the rear suspension is too soft, your rear end is going to drop even more. That's going to lift your front end up, and the 20%, which is very little you have in the front, is just going to spin. So then you might as well just be a rear wheel drive. So going over to the ride height, as you guys can see, the front is at its lowest. And for the rear, it is 21.2, which is just above half. This is just to make sure that we can keep the nose down, to make sure that we've got traction in the front as well. And also do know that if your rear end is too high, you won't be able to get your weight to the back. So that's going to result in spinning at the back because nothing is pressing the wheels down to the floor. So this is pretty weird. It says my time of year is 1823. Just now it was 1806, but yeah, this thing is changing drastically like every time it wants to. So anyway, for the rebound, we've got our front at stiff, which helps the rear, and then our rear bump stiffness to help the front. It's kind of weird how it works, but you want to see it vice versa like that. Your rebound front and your bump rear should be almost similar, and then your rebound rear and your bump front should be very similar. This is what you potentially want to see. Sometimes it does change, is not wrong, but in this case it worked like this. For your aerodynamics, obviously I only did this. We should actually do the front bumper install as well, so we can just take it more down to speed, like less downforce, because there you guys can see it's in the middle, so I don't know if that's actually influencing it. But nevertheless, for the rear, because I did change my wing, I had to drop it all the way. If you didn't do it, it's fine. So for the brakes, I just put it on 40. It just feels to me like it brakes a bit better. This doesn't probably matter at all. For the pressure, 85. When you brake, you don't want to spin or your wheels to lock up. Going over to differential, because this was all-wheel drive, we could have actually rested by putting the acceleration on both at 100% and the deceleration at 0%. Obviously, with the deceleration, if it is a track car going around corners and stuff, you can actually increase it a bit, then you don't have to brake that much. But nevertheless, going over to our balance, we are more balanced in the rear end for speed. So there we go. Let's quickly head over to the road and let's do our 400-meter pull. And here we are. So with this car, you don't have to do a burnout or whatsoever. It does have a small squeak when you do pull away. And with this car, you want to pull away with as much RPMs as you want. So I'm using my clutch to help me with with launch RPM. So if you hold down the handbrake, your accelerate is going to drop down like that. By pressing the clutch button and then holding it in, you can literally choose where you want to launch. So you want to launch at max, let's go. I did have a little bit of a first short shift, but there we go, 244 with a short shift in first gear. I think my best, oh gosh, I actually got a fright there. I think my best was like 245, but yeah, that's very, very similar. So as you guys might have noticed, we actually pressed the race through with our fourth gear. This car just doesn't like to shift at all. So there we go, there is the 400 meters. I just want to show you guys quickly the first shift. What I usually keep in my mind is as soon as I see 60 on the speedo, that is when I shift. And there's also something I never tried. I never tried to launch with, what is that, 9,000 RPMs? Quickly try that out. Okay, that's not bad. Are we going to try that quick? Because it feels like I'm kind of rushing this video, but I'm not. Let's actually test this out and see if it provides any better times. There we go. Even if you do decide to do a burnout, your car is still going to squeak in the beginning. Just look at that. It's got so much grip. Oh yeah, I got to show you guys something as well. Let's quickly try this RPM launch thingy. So far it seems to be good. Let's see. Oh, dude, okay, so it results in the exact same thing. When I told you guys earlier I wanted to show you something, you gotta remember to tell me. You guys didn't tell me. Come on, I nearly forgotten. So if I'm gonna press T and I'm gonna go page up. Okay, I don't know what's set on controller. It's probably like the up arrow. I'm not sure with Xbox, but yeah, on computer we want to get to this screen. This is how this screen looks in general. How much power you're putting down, your pounds of boost, and all of these things. You want to go to the tires and MISC. So here you guys will see if we have to stop. Let's just put it in first gear. Right over here at the bottom left, you see it's the rear left tire. Let's just look at the one side. It doesn't really matter. Or you can look at the right. Doesn't matter. So our camber is 0.45 in a positive. Can you guys remember our rear was at a positive? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to accelerate. And look how that 4.5 becomes just around a 0. Maybe minus 0.1, plus 0.1. But it's very, very close. Oh, that was like 0.01. See, that's good. And for the front, you guys can see it's at 1 at the left. So what we're going to do is we're going to accelerate, but I'm going to go through the gears and just look at how flat near 0 is going to remain. What you want to see is, let me just say this to you guys, you want to always see it as close to 0.00000. So let's quickly do this. Wait, sorry, I had some wheel spin over there. Okay, let's go. Look at that. That is freaking amazing. It is a little bit off. You can fine tune it, but yeah, this is the baseline tune. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna do the normal drag race. But I gotta tell you guys that this car does very, very bad against competition. I think it's maybe because of the engine capabilities, because it feels to me Forza is really bringing this car down. I never even checked the power with you guys. But yeah, so it feels to me like Forza is not giving enough credit for these motors of Nissan, such as the GTR34 and now the R34 as well. So the people are gonna annihilate me unless I actually take down the difficulty. Let's quickly see. Let's take the difficulty down to highly skilled, okay? Maybe I will be doing something against them because they leave me car lengths behind. So here we're gonna have to do a very quick shift, eh? Come on! Come on! There we go. Oh no! Go, go, go! Yes! Yes! Oh, we did it. If we didn't win this, like Tab says, we're gonna have to go to newbie. And that's a horrible time. 16.490. I think my best is like low 0.400. But nevertheless, that is not a bad time at all. Let's quickly go over the power figures of the car. I usually do it. I don't know why I've completely forgotten. Let's quickly go to cars. We're gonna go to tune cars. No, sorry. We gotta go quickly to custom upgrades. If you guys got a better way where we can just do upgrades there, please let me know, because this is such a frustration to go into a menu, to go to a menu, to go to a tuning upgrade thingy-mabob. So anyway, there we go. 595 kilowatt, 880 newton meters of torque. The car weighs about 1.2 tons and displacement is 3 liters. Trust me, it's still really a lot. Let's just say bad. I don't know. I didn't change anything. It's still a heck load. But anyway, guys, there we go. That is it. The video for the oh gosh, the R34. I do hope you all enjoyed this video. I do hope you found it useful, entertaining, or informative in that case. If you guys did, make sure to drop a big like. If you'd love to support the channel, especially if you're new, hit the logo at the bottom right corner to subscribe. If you want to see a similar video, hit the icon on the left. If you want to see one of my most recent videos, hit the icon on the right. And what was that? And I'll see all of you legends in my next video. But for now, peace out, everyone.